we talk about Taliban?
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
their ridiculous atrocities continue. I mean, they're ridiculous, just stupid. It's like literally laughable. Have a
Yeah.
look at this. So they gathered all the musical instruments and they set them alight. And then some musicians were basically just crying. They are literally, you can hear them crying. This guy's crying. But look at this Taliban. They're laughing.
Oh, bless.
He's crying.
Hell, man.
And look, he's literally laughing his ass off.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You can hear the cry.
This
in the
is
back.
bully behavior. This is like playground bullies kind of behavior.
So I think all the musicians of the world, they need to speak up for their fellow singer. Small level, nobody knows his name. He doesn't have fancy instruments. I don't understand what he's saying, but they're just basically using that as a warning. Prophet Muhammad said he banned the use of musical instruments.
Except for there was that one instrument that he tolerated the sound of. Do you
Definitely.
remember? He said, yeah.
Definitely.
He liked the sound of that. And he said you can play it on weddings and when a boy's born or something.
Hypocrisy, yeah. Whenever he liked something, he said, all right, you can have that. We spoke about this, how he didn't use the four witnesses rule on his slave girl, accuse her of adultery with a guy who didn't even have a dick. He changed his view on a man who has sex with his wife's slave. There's so many things he just makes up. I've got a whole folder on hypocrisy of Muhammad.
Folders galore here, guys.
They're like 15. They're like 15 other stories. So I'm going to create a different playlist, hypocrisy of Muhammad, and then you can keep seeing in that. So he just makes up rules as he goes along.
Amazing.
Okay, so...
But also, can I just say on that, I just want to say this is one of the things that really, really peeved me off even when I was a Muslim, to be honest, because the way Islam stifles creativity and like the arts, like this, like music, for example, is something so necessary and part and parcel of the human experience, and art and creating and the ability to express yourself and creativity. This is part and parcel of the human experience. This is us trying to make sense of where we are and express emotions and understand them. That is vital to like a good, thriving society and just generally like just humans understanding and just like our cognitive growth and everything, the way we express ourselves. Islam comes and literally does what the Taliban did in that video and just burns it all and says, no more of this. And it's so stifling that it's just really detrimental to the human experience. So yeah, when you say musicians should speak up and like help their fellow musicians, no, we all should. It's in our best interest that music and stuff like basic things like this are not stifled under the name of Islam or religion. But as I said before, it's again Islam doing what it does best, sucking the joy out of life.
And there should be a meme of that. So here's Sahih Muslim 2114. The bell is the musical instrument of the Satan.
No wonder they hate church bells ringing. It's Shaitan waking up.
Yeah, there you go. So when singing slave girls music and drinking intoxicant spreads, so he's saying that that would come a time Muhammad feared that these things will happen. Anyway,
that's never been to a nightclub.
Yeah, there you go. People among my nation will drink wine, calling it by another name, and musical instruments will be played for them. So there you go. It's saying that Allah will cause the earth to swallow them up and will turn them into monkeys and pigs. So this guy's going to turn into a monkey. Just turn me, God.
So for all those people that say why they're still monkeys in evolution, it's because God is turning people into them, mate.
Yeah, so it's just so music is haram, basically. Music is not allowed. Look at this gentleman. He's probably sitting in some European city. It's a nice cafe, probably Paris. I don't know. So Taliban arrest Afghan professor after criticism. Now, he refused to leave Afghanistan. He was criticizing Afghanistan and he was in hiding. And it was only a matter of time when he was going to get caught. So prominent Afghan university professor and open critic of the Taliban's hardline regime has been arrested in Kabul with his daughter on Sunday, saying she now fears for his safety. Professor Faizullah Jalal was arrested by the Taliban on Saturday after repeatedly speaking out on television against the country's new rulers who stormed back to power in August. The
Wait, sorry,
hardline,
sorry. Is the guy in Afghanistan and speaking
yes,
about the Taliban and refused
yes,
to leave?
I was surprised.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a baddie.
yeah. So
I mean, naive or bad, I'm not sure. Baddie, I'm not sure. Like, that's very, very naive, right? So
So
leave
anyway,
him
so
out.
his family had left Afghanistan before the Taliban took over, and they had begged
Yes,
him to
join them.
to join him, yeah, to leave Afghanistan. But he said, "How can I leave my people?" In one live talk show, he called the Taliban spokesman Mohammed Naeem, who was also participating, a calf, a bachra, a grave insult in Afghanistan. Hasina said her father in his late 50s had refused offers to leave the country after the Taliban seized power, living mostly in hiding in Kabul while his family fled to Europe. So he told me, "How can I leave my people?" So anyway, so he was in prison after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. So he's not something who just always on. It seems like he's always on the he's always stood by his principles. He was
Yeah,
against Soviet invasion. He was then
yeah.
arrested by the Taliban multiple times in the 90s, and now he's been arrested now. On Twitter, rights group Amnesty International condemned the arrest of the lecturer for exercising his freedom of expression. Ha ha. Freedom of expression by the Taliban, under Taliban. Ha ha. So anyway, so what did Taliban say? Taliban have formed an all-male cabinet made up entirely of members of the group
No
and also
shit. All male.
all male. They
Nah.
have
I
further
was
restricted.
expecting diversity and representation, mate.
They have further restricted women's rights to work and study, triggering widespread international condemnation. So yeah, this guy is under. Yeah, he's been in prison. So Taliban, when they tell you, like, no, we're different. No, they're not. There's no representation for women. There are. Last week we covered the news story where they have the women are not even allowed to go to all women bathhouses. They've been
Mhm.
reduced to their houses, just per Islamic teachings, and
They're being erased from society bit by bit. It's as simple as that.
bit by bit, all gone, all gone.
It would be easier for the Taliban if we just didn't exist altogether, but they're trying their very best to wipe us out of society.
Taliban increased payment in wheat as the economic crisis deepens. So again, it's the end. At the end of the day, it's the people who are facing. So government employees, bureaucrats, police officers, ambulance workers, hospital doctors, etc. They are now working 5 hours a day, doing menial laboring jobs in exchange for grain, for wheat. Sorry. So the Taliban administration said on Tuesday it was expanding its Food for Work program, in which it uses donated wheat to pay thousands of public sector employees instead of cash as a financial crisis intensified. The
Jeez.
wheat, largely donated by India to the previous US-backed Kabul government, is being used to pay 40,000 workers 10 kilograms of wheat per day for working 5 hours a day, agricultural officials. So they got nothing there. And they're just saying, okay, well, come and do this, whatever work that you've got, we'll give you a bag of wheat.
God,
And
it's like
how
driven
long are
itself
they going
back
to do
into the
this?
stone. Yeah.
How long are they going to do this? They've got no currency. They've got no economy.
Look at the barter that's happening. People are bartering their own children for
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
It's
How
become a
low?
barter system
This is
with
the
humans
system
involved.
that, if this is not the evidence that Islamic way of government cannot work in the 21st century, it
Totally.
cannot work. What more freaking evidence do you need? And when we show them, oh, look at these problems in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia or other Muslim countries, they say, wow, Pakistan's not following the
Not
real
Muslim.
Islam.
Yeah. Not
This
perfect.
is what will happen if Pakistan becomes real Muslim as per your definition. Then they
Yeah.
blame the West. They say, well, America has put an embargo on. Yes, that's the whole freaking point. The world doesn't want to follow your primitive, barbaric way of governance. Why should America do business with you when you flog people, when you behead people, when you stone people to death, when you burn musical instruments, when you ban women from leaving their houses? Why should they do business with you?
Mm-hmm. And then you rely on them as the
But that was
infidels
so
that you like
what?
to call them. You rely on them for money. America provided most, like, what, 60, 70% of the food anyway before the Taliban took over.
Mm.
And you're literally expecting this from the people that you hate and you call out and you want to fight and wage war against. It makes no sense. And it just goes to show you that, like, in a perfect, ideal Islamic state, the one that Imran Khan usually bangs on about in terms of trying to recreate Medina in its heyday, this is the results of that. This is what a true Islamic governance would get you. And it can't even take care of itself and its own people. It crumbles from within. So I don't know why Imran Khan tries to make this illusion as well, because very much what you have in the perfect state of Medina, Riyasat al-Medina as he likes to call it, is very much like following Islam and Sharia by the book, as the Taliban are. And you guys can see for yourselves the damage that has ensued. If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.